Miss Meadows thought that there could be not more tragic than that lament. Every note was a sigh, a sob, a cry of horrible mournfulness. She lifted her arms in the white gown and began conducting with both hands. At that time, again, Basil's letter came into her memory. The words was repeated by her. He left more and more strongly that their marriage would be a mistake. These words had come to her mind once again. She bit, and the voices of the girls cried as fleetly, again the interference of her thoughts on Basil. What could have possessed him to write such a letter? Again she thought of him. What insisted him to write such a letter? What could have led up to it? What is the reason that he has reached this stage? All these thoughts which has been grinded in her mind. It came out of nothing. His last letter had been all about a formed oak bookcase he had purchased. He elaborated on a naughty little stand which had a carved owl on a bracket, holding three-headed brushes in its claws. She smiled and wondered about the need of three-headed brushes. In the music class, the girls sang the next line from the listening ear. Miss Meadows asked the girls to repeat their singing. She told them to sing in parts in the second time, and still without expression, in a fast and too fast beat. She instructed that when a state of melancholy or depression of the lowest female voice was added, one could hardly help shivering. Then came the next line of the song. Fade the roses of pleasure. Again Miss Meadows went back to her thoughts. On the previous occasion, when Basil had come to see her, he had worn a rose in his buttonhole. He had looked handsome in that bright blue suit with that dark rose. First, he adjusted his hair, then his moustache. When he smiled, his teeth appeared like a flash of light. Miss Meadows remembered her last meeting with Basil. He told her that the headmaster's wife regularly invited him for a dinner. He felt it was a nuisance and he never went to that place in any evening. When Miss Meadows asked him why he could not refuse her, he told that a man in his position would become unpopular if he had done so. By this time, the girls sang a line, music's game measure, in a high-pitched voice. One could see the willow trees which were outside through the high, narrow windows of the classroom. The tree branches moved in the wind. They withered half their leaves. The extremely small leaves were swinging like fishes. Miss Meadows suddenly remembered a line from Basil's letter. He was not a marrying man. The voices of the girls became silent and the piano waited. Miss Meadows appreciated the girls' singing was quite good, but the younger girls began to feel frightened by a strange and stony tone. She continued her instruction that they should practice it with expression. They could give maximum expression, they should think about the words and should use their imaginations. Then she sang the line fast, fast, too fast. She further gave instructions on how to sing in a strong musical tone a lament. In the second line, they should utter the word drear as if a cold wind were blowing through it. She voiced the word drear and it made Mary Beasley wriggle her spine. In a similar way, she instructed how to sing the remaining lines. Then she asked them to continue. Miss Meadows gave two light taps with her baton and she lifted her arms again. She sang the line, fast, too fast. Now Basil's letter came to her mind. He had written that idea of settling down filled him with nothing but disgust. He had first written the word disgust. Then he scratched out the word disgust lightly and wrote the word regret over the top. Their engagement was definitely broken off. When the people knew that she had got engaged, they had been surprised. At first, the science missus could not believe that. She was so surprised that nobody could. She was 30 years old and Basil was 25 years old. It had been a miracle of engagement between a 30-year-old lady and 25 years old young man. So they considered it as a miracle. Then they walked home from church on that very dark night. On the way, he told her that he had got fond of her somehow or other. He had taken hold of the end of her ostrich feather decorative scarf. He just holded her decorative scarf, which was decorated by ostrich feather. Suddenly, she heard the girl's voice singing the line, "Passes away from the listening ear." Miss Meadows told the girls to repeat the line with more expression. The girls started singing the line, "Fast are too fast." The older girls were crimson. Their faces turned red in color, and some of the younger ones they started crying. Big spots of raindrops splashed against the windows. There was rain. One could hear the willow trees whispering. Again, Basil's letter came to her mind. It didn't mean that he did not love her. Again, she chewed the thoughts of the letter.